4.7 million years ago, the Earth was an untamed and dangerous world where early human ancestors struggled every single day to survive. Vast forests stretched endlessly across the land, thick with towering trees, thorny bushes, and hidden swamps that swallowed anything careless enough to step inside. The climate was unpredictable. Some days were scorching hot, while others brought heavy rain and cold winds that made survival even harder. Early humans did not have homes as we know them today. Instead, they lived in caves, rocky shelters, or sometimes under large trees that protect them from rain and sun. Their bodies were not fully evolved, and they relied heavily on instincts rather than intelligence. They walked in small groups or tribes because being alone meant almost certain death. Every sound in the forest could signal danger. A rustling bush might hide a giant predator, and even the night itself felt alive with fear. Food was never guaranteed. They spent long hours searching for fruits, roots, insects, and sometimes scavenging leftovers from animals. Hunger was a constant companion, and many days ended without a proper meal. Despite this harsh reality, early humans slowly learned how to observe nature, recognize safe plants, and avoid dangerous territories. Their survival depended not on strength alone, but on awareness, cooperation, and the ability to adapt to an environment that showed no mercy. Every sunrise was a small victory, and every sunset was a reminder that they had survived yet another dangerous day in a world that was still shaping itself. The daily life of prehistoric humans revolved around constant movement and extreme caution. They never stayed in one place for too long, because resources quickly ran out, and predators often learned their locations. The men of the tribe usually formed small hunting groups, carrying sharpened sticks, stones, and bones to track and hunt small animals. Hunting was not a guaranteed success. It required patience, silence, and sometimes long chases through dense forests or open plains. Many times, hunters returned empty-handed or injured. Meanwhile, women and older members of the group gathered edible plants, berries, nuts, and roots from safer areas. They had to carefully test unknown plants, as many were poisonous and could cause sickness or death. Children stayed close to adults, learning through observation how to identify food and avoid danger. Communication was basic, consisting of gestures, sounds, and simple vocal signals that helped warn others about predators or guide them toward food sources. Fire, when discovered, became a rare and precious tool, but early humans did not yet fully control it. In the earliest stages of this era, at night, the tribe gathered closely together for protection, sharing warmth and watching the darkness with fear. The environment was filled with threats such as giant wildcats, massive reptiles, and other predators that ruled the land. Despite this, early humans developed a growing sense of unity. They learned that survival was not possible alone, and that teamwork increased their chances of living another day. Slowly, their intelligence and cooperation began to shape their future evolution. As time passed, early humans started developing primitive survival skills that set them apart from other creatures. One of the most important developments was their ability to use natural objects as tools. Sharp stones were used for cutting meat, digging roots, or defending against animals. Wooden branches were
turned into spears for protection and hunting. Even bones of dead animals were repurposed into tools, showing early signs of creativity and intelligence. Observation played a key role in survival. They watched animals closely to understand which plants were safe to eat and which areas were dangerous. Over generations, knowledge was passed down from elders to younger members, though not through written language, but through repetition, imitation, and memory. Social bonding also became stronger, as individuals who worked together had a higher chance of surviving attacks or finding food. Fear of predators pushed them to stay in groups, and this grouping eventually formed the foundation of early tribal society. Shelter building also improved slightly, as they began reinforcing caves with stones and branches to block wind and keep out animals. Weather patterns were studied in a simple way. Dark skies meant rain, while
caves with stones and branches to block wind and keep out animals.
Move the stones!
Weather patterns were studied in a simple way. Dark skies meant rain, while Animal behavior often signaled approaching danger. Although their world was still brutal, early humans were no longer completely helpless. Each small discovery, whether a sharper stone or a safer shelter, represented progress. Survival was no longer just instinctive. It was slowly becoming intelligent and strategic. These early innovations laid the foundation for future human development and civilization. One of the greatest turning points in prehistoric survival was the discovery and gradual control of fire. At first, fire was feared, often caused naturally by lightning, strikes, or wildfires. Early humans would observe it from a distance, amazed by its power to destroy trees, yet also protect against predators. Over time, they learned that fire could provide warmth during cold nights, light in darkness, and protection from dangerous animals that avoided flames. Groups began carefully, collecting burning branches from natural fires and carrying them back to their shelters.
The light
Protecting fire became a
returns.
sacred responsibility,
The
as
children
losing it
are
meant
safe.
returning to vulnerability. Fire also changed their diet, as cooked meat became easier to chew and digest, improving their strength and health. Around the fire, tribes gathered not only for safety but also for social bonding. They communicated through sounds, gestures, and early storytelling, sharing experiences of hunts and dangers. This created stronger unity and cooperation among group members. Firelight also reduced fear of the dark, allowing humans to stay active for longer hours and observe their surroundings more effectively. However, controlling fire was still extremely risky, and many accidents could result in injuries or the loss of entire shelters. Despite the danger, the benefits were far greater. Fire became a symbol of survival, intelligence, and progress. It marked the beginning of humanity's shift from purely instinctive behavior toward controlled environmental adaptation. Over many generations, prehistoric humans gradually transformed from vulnerable survivors into more intelligent and adaptive beings. Their ability to cooperate, use tools, and control fire allowed them to expand into new territories and survive in different climates. Migration became common as tribes followed animal herds and seasonal food sources, traveling across forests, rivers, and plains. With each journey, they gained new knowledge about landscapes, weather patterns.
Leaders emerging to guide groups during hunts and migrations. Children learned survival skills from a young age, ensuring that knowledge was preserved and improved over time.
Although they were still far from modern humans, these early ancestors had already begun shaping the foundations of civilization. Their story is one of endurance, adaptation, and slow but powerful evolution. Life remained dangerous, but intelligence had become their greatest weapon. From simple tool use to fire control and teamwork, every advancement brought them one step closer to survival mastery. The harsh world of 4.7 million years ago did not destroy them, it shaped them. And through struggle, fear, and discovery, prehistoric humans laid the foundation for future humanity that would one day rule the planet.